Tonight in London, I'm Austin Okonakman.
And in Lagos, I'm Cecilia Amogbe. Tonight on the program, we'll be taking a look at Arsenal and Brentford are currently in action. Arsenal down by a lone goal. And also we'll be taking a look at the Aisha Virus Cup. And also the fact that the Falconets will be resuming camp on Sunday in preparations for the qualifiers for the 2022 FIFA Women's Under-20 World Cup. Also, the CAF Confederations Cup and the CAF Champions League draws have been done in Cairo. Of course, Nigerians are clubs on the continent will already know their opponents. And also, the English Premier League is back. So we'll be doing a comprehensive preview of the games for this weekend, Austin. And here, right here in Lagos studio, I have Ikena Okechukwendu with me, a sports analyst.
Beginning of the season, it's good to be here. Very, very excited.
All right. Okay, Austin, let's just get started with live updates coming from the game between Brentford and Arsenal. I believe Arsenal fans were like, when the season is starting, they're going to hit the ground running. Right now, they go down.
It's a loaded show, Cecilia. You're knowing that the English Premier League is back, and of course, you talked about the CAF Champions League and Confederation Cup draw already done. But let's talk about the English Premier League. Everyone is pumped up right here in England for that one. Arsenal seem to have continued where they stopped last season. Let me give you this interesting stat. Before that game against Brentford, Arsenal in the English Premier League has gathered 2,772 points. Brentford, nothing, 0. They are starting on a clean slate. So the odds was in no way in favor of Brentford, but that's the result right there. Brentford 1, Arsenal 0. Some schoolboy defending from Arsenal, and then somehow Sergi Canos got the ball shot into the goal to give the host the lead. And Arsenal will need to find a way to come back into this one. You know, there's been a lot of questions as regards this team. Mikel Arteta needs to do so much to see how he can beef up the squad. I was excited for Larry in Balogun. He's got Nigerian parents, but he has represented England at the youth level. He started for Arsenal, so the coach showing some confidence in him, dropping Lacazette and Aubameyang, but it's not going the way of Arsenal at the moment. I just hope that they can find a way to come back into this one.
Definitely. Usually they start so well. It's how they finish. That's always the problem. Middle of the season, somehow they nosedive. And then towards the end of the season, they start playing as if the season is just starting.
Same old story, same old Arsenal. But I think most teams treat the first games of the season as if it's still a preseason.
Yeah.
So, and those games count. At the end of the day, if you don't pick up your points early, if you don't start early, then you start losing ground. You start losing the pace with the people that are going to lead the table. Imagine if Liverpool didn't start early. Imagine what could have happened. Because towards the end of that season, they won. They began to nosedive. But because of the points they picked up at the beginning of the season, it was able to help them get the title. So hopefully Arsenal shouldn't cause it will be disheartening for their fans if they lose this game. Hopefully they will come back and grab maybe pick a point or win the game.
Maybe.
As it goes.
It's the first half, so second half will start shortly. 63% ball possession for Arsenal, and for Brentford, of course, 37%. But then the possession is not playing football right now. It's the goals. That's what counts. So let's leave that. We'll bring you updates as the game continues. Let's quickly talk about rugby. What's happening rugby in Nigeria. Now, this is not about the Nigerian league, but it's about England and Irish Lions International. Talking about Mario Itoje, who wants to actually try as much as possible to see the ways he can develop the game in Nigeria. Now, for him, he actually he paid a visit to the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Abike Dabire Erewa. So she had to commend him for what he has done, especially in sport. I mean, he wasn't just there for sport alone at the reception with himself and his parents. It was also because of the art exhibition he did in London. So this is more like a commendation for him. And during this time when he was received by Abike and the others, he also talked about the fact that he wants to try to see how he can develop rugby in Nigeria, because the way Nigerians are built, I mean, they're literally built for the game, but we're really not playing the game. Let's listen to him.
But even judging from the amount of Nigerians in the diaspora that play rugby, we have a natural talent for it. We have a natural size, natural athletic ability for the game. So, if a country like Nigeria was to pick it up in Nigeria, I think the possibilities are boundless. So I'll be happy to do whatever I can to help grow the sport in this country. There's a large diaspora community. I think Nigeria probably has the largest diaspora amongst all the African nations. So I think collectively there's a lot that we can do to give back to the continent. I think there's often in Nigeria a brain drain where some of our best and brightest to leave the country. It'll be amazing to see some of the best and brightest talents be retained in the country.
All right, it's all about retaining talent in the country. But Austin is actually speaking about this. We can go to Austin quickly.
So that's it. I was saying that I love Maro Itoje a lot because he has never been ashamed of Nigeria. Mm-hmm. I follow him a lot on his social media platforms, and each time he's got an opportunity to talk about development, he somehow finds a way to put Nigeria into the mix. And I'm super excited he found his way back home to show some love. And this is what we're talking about, Cecilia, administration. He wants to help. He wants to support. He wants to bring his experience back home. But what is the administration of rugby in Nigeria? Mm-hmm. This is what we're talking about when we say we need to fix what we are doing at home. I think there's a saying, charity begins at home. So everything back home should be top-notch to attract persons who are out here, who have international experience and expertise to come in there. This is someone who plays for the English Lions. And at that level, he's been there, done that. I've been trying to get Maro on this show. And hopefully we will get him one day so he can sit and talk to us about this ambition he has as regards developing rugby in Nigeria.
Absolutely, you're spot on right there. You also mentioned the federation and also the fact that we have a rugby federation and we have a rugby league in Nigeria, but the fact that we also need to grow it so well. I mean, what he mentioned actually struck me that we are built for the game. You see most Nigerians know Irish. I mean, if you take a look at the Irish Lions, you discover that you have most Nigerians actually playing there, although they were born there. But then if you have players, naturally, you have youth naturally built for the sport and they're not playing it, and you're asking yourself, where do they go?
He's disheartening. I follow him a lot. He's a huge star for England. Mm-hmm. He's a very, very huge star. But one thing I think, apart from football, the rest of the sports, what they should follow is what basketball has done for Nigeria. Has been able to bridge that gap between the local and our players in diaspora. They have brought everybody together. And also, if not for the court cases, the league should have been going. Yeah. Now, what are these other sports doing? Because we have players all around the world playing this game. Even it's surprising that Nigeria is the only, probably one of the only British colonies that doesn't have this game as the popular sports. Mm-hmm. This and cricket. In South Africa, in Kenya, they play all these ones. Now, apart from the big rugby, they have rugby sevens. Okay, we are all the other countries that can't fit into the number 15 game can play that rugby sevens. Yeah. Now, we are losing that in these things. We are losing that in development. We are losing that in commercialization of the game. We are losing that in bringing players in. They want to help, but if you don't have the foundation, if you don't have the development, it's very, very hard to come in.
You can't build on nothing at all. You have to build on something. Alfred Okoligwe will join us now, and of course, we'll start with talking about the Aisha Virus Cup. Alfred, good evening.
Excited to see you, Cecilia. Very good evening to you. Excited to be here.
All right, thank you. Quickly, let's just get into this one. Talking about the Aisha Virus Cup. It's happening in September. Everyone has been talking about it. 6-nation tournament. You're going to be having Morocco, Ghana, South Africa, Mali, Nigeria, and of course, Cameroon. These are the countries that will be participating in. And just today, they've talked about the fact that it has a team now playing for good. That's the theme for the highly anticipated Aisha Virus Cup starting in September 13th. And Lagos, of course, is hosting.
The more reason why I'm really, really excited about this competition. It's about time that we have a competition where each time we are invited to this kind of tournament, Six Nation tournament, Four Nation tournament, we seem to go there excitedly and do well. And what it has helped in doing is building team spirit, of course, preparing bloody young talents. The excitement for me is that Lagos is going to host this one, the Aisha Virus Cup, and I think for the sheer number of facilities that we have in Lagos, I know that the Teslim Balogun is enjoying a facelift now, about time, because that's one ground. Did I say the Teslim Balogun? I mean the Agege Township Stadium. I beg your pardon. Yes, it's enjoying a facelift, and that is one ground that is closest to the community. You need to go to Agege on a day match is going on. People just walk the house from the house and go there. And if you get that, and we invite the best of the best, what it means is that apart from the African qualifiers or the World Cup itself, this is an excellent opportunity of blooding our players, giving them the opportunity, giving them confidence, giving them belief. And of course, beyond that, it is destination, it is sports tourism. I mean, for some of these youngsters, perhaps the only opportunity that they have to come to Nigeria, see the beautiful city of Lagos, of course, the mega city as it's called in Lagos. And the multiplier effect is that it gives you an opportunity of upgrading your facilities, and these facilities, you're not going to take them away. It is still going to be used here, and that's a huge fillip for sports, if you ask me.
Obviously, it is. Austin, I mean, this is a tournament everyone has been waiting for, anticipating. We're just waiting for that 13th of September for it to start, 13th to 21st. Right. And there's a good one for the Falcons. They've been busy all the year.
Yeah, very good. And I like the thing, Cecilia, playing for good. Yeah. You can relate it to anything you want, playing for the good of the game, playing for the good of the continent, playing to, develop women's football in Africa, playing for the good of the girl child, because, I mean, this sort of competition is supposed to empower the girl child, and give hope to, girls who want to grow up to become the Asisa Toshola, the Onome Bees, the Francesca Odega, and all of the stars we're having the Super Falcons. And I love the fact that they're bringing teams from Africa. This is very good, and I hope that they make it a competition that we will live to remember.
Yeah, just that's what it is, because you're trying to synchronize the vision and the mission of the tournament by using that particular phrase, the theme, which is playing for good. Great one, you will say, Kena.
Yeah, it's wonderful. What the ladies need is more competitions like this. They need, because they don't have enough games to play. So I'm happy that even the NFF have, even the last, this they went on tour in the US.
The US, yeah.
And they have been preparing. So it's a good, and one thing that is my heart is that most I know are from the West African session. Yeah, so it's a good one. We hope to watch good football all around, and we'll enjoy it, because since 91, I've always enjoyed the ladies play.
I can't wait. September 13th, that's when it's starting right here in Lagos. Let's leave the Aisha Virus Cup and quickly go to the CAF Champions League. Yes, Aqua United will be playing on the continent. I believe most of the players, the coaches, will still be thinking, are we really going on the continent, Austin? I mean, when the draws was done this morning, they finally realized that, yes, they are going on the continent. But the good thing is they will be playing against an Algerian side. Is it a good thing? I think so, because it's not those bigger clubs. And because for Rivers United, they will be up against young Africans of Tanzania. And go to the preliminary rounds for the CAF Confederation Cup. Aimba, of course, drawn a bye into the second round because of Aimba is a big club. And for the other club, which is Bayelsa United, they will be playing against AS Ashanti of Guinea. The Golden Boys of Guinea. That's for Bayelsa United. While Aimba will play the winner between Wakira Athletic and Diabas FC. Okaligwe, let's quickly go to you on this one. I mean, Nigerian team on the continent, with this kind of draw, you think they can easily make it to the next round, or maybe they're not just going to go anywhere, especially with Bayelsa United, who are actually making their debut on the continent?
Well, I won't say especially Bayelsa United. For all the teams going on the continent, you wouldn't say that these are teams that have the pedigrees of the likes of Rangers or Yimba International on the continent. These are teams that are charting, for me, new territories. It's been a while. Yes, Rivers United and their Dolphins have played in the finals of the CAF. The first edition, is it the first or second or so? Of the CAF Confederations Cup, but this is a different kettle of fish altogether. I think the challenge for all of these teams is not the gains that we've had in the last 2-3 seasons. And that gain is progressing beyond the first round of this competition. It is key that they progress. And the task is enormous. I met with them. I had a chat with Kennedy Bogoye in Benin during the ITO Cup final. And he was saying that the players will just take 1 week break. The challenge, expectations from Aqua United is not that high. I'll say, okay, it's one of those, perhaps maybe the second time I'm playing on the continent. So for them, it is new territory, but they need all the support that they can get. If the preparation starts now, yes, we'll have the momentum going. If players are leaving and you replace them early enough, that in itself is something that we'll have to work on. Our league just ended. Now, this competition is going to be next month. We know how it is for us here. Once it ends, everybody has gone to sleep. The next thing is some players have asked to leave, or some players are moving on with their career. How soon will new players come in? How well are we going to prepare for this? It's a big challenge for all of the teams. I won't say for Bayelsa that maybe Bayelsa say okay for want of experience, but that they can get if they really seek knowledge. If they want to, they seek knowledge from those who have passed that road before. Bring them in, make sure that they get the necessary knowledge and information. They can move back. For all of the teams, the expectation for me is very, very huge. Not to be eliminated in the first round. That's key for us to retain the number of teams that we have on the continent.
That's really interesting because okay, Austin.
Yeah, I just want to get Ikenna talking. When you take a look at the opponents for the Nigerian teams in the CAF Champions League, Rivers United going against Young African Sports Club and Aqua United going against the Algerian club, the one they call the Great Chabab. Ikenna, any hope for the Nigerian teams?
Austin, one thing we lack is preparation. Preparation is key when it comes to the continent, and this is where Nyimba is head and shoulders above all the other teams because they are well prepared and well made for the continental games. Now, what we are going to see is either they are looking for other teams are looking for money to travel. They will start embarrassing us. Maybe they go there, they didn't come with jerseys. Maybe they go there, they didn't come with, they're missing one player. Their passports are not complete. These things are all about preparation. Yanga in Tanzania, Yanga and Simba, they are the two top teams in Tanzania. Mm-hmm. They are well prepared. They have foreign players, they have foreign managers, they prepare themselves for continent. That is where the problem starts. Algerian teams are not new to the continent. They are always there. You see 4 or 5 teams in the continent. It's tough. But one thing Nigerian teams should realize is that each move we make, now we have 4 teams going to the continent, thanks to Enyimba. But Enyimba can't continue doing it every year. So we need these teams to progress and move into the next round so that next season we might also have 4 teams representing the continent. As for their prospects, I see the younger game. I see us winning the younger game, but beating the Algerian team is a very, 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 very tough one. Very tough.
Yeah, but I think maybe I'll counter you a little bit on that. If you check Aqua United, I mean, you look at it right now, the way the club is being run, you can say it's one of those clubs that run professionally because of how they travel and they don't have issues with salaries or anything. So that's a club you can actually trust for now.
Granted.
Yeah, I can trust them. Enyimba, of course, as you said, perennial contenders when it comes to the continent. Yeah. Another team, Rivers United, is another team that is well funded. So you really can't say they're a well-funded team. And of course, Bayelsa United, yes, really can't say much about them. But from what they've done this season, it shows that, yes, the Commissioner for Sport, Daniel Gallo, understands what sport is all about. He's another person you can take a look at and say, okay, maybe the disgrace you're talking about may not just happen this time because we have clubs who are well, who are well managed, so to speak. Okay. So, but we need to go on a break.
All right, no problem.
We need to go on a break. We'll come back, quickly get your thoughts of Okoligu, and of course, we'll move straight to other issues on sports.
Welcome back, Sports Tonight, on your award-winning Sports Loving Channels Television. We're taking a look at the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederations Cup. We also have our eyes on the start of the English Premier League new season. It's Brentford taking on Arsenal. We'll talk about that one. Also, a quick update while we get the guys talking about what's going on with the Nigerian League. Bayelsa United, they are from the NNL. And Alfred Okoligwe, why talk about Bayelsa United now? This is the fourth abandoned match in the NNL because the game between Remo and Bayelsa United, you know the rest.
Austin, it's that's one story. That's the NNL has is turning out to be one huge jungle, and navigating your way through that jungle is very difficult to say the least. I saw that report, collision between the player of Remo Stars and the goalkeeper. I mean, it's not in the place of players to decide what the referee's call should be. He said the referee should have issued a card and he didn't. When the referee called off the game, they now said, okay, they're ready to play. They said, no, you've left the field for more than 10 minutes. And I think that is something that Nigerian teams should take, should just learn how to conduct themselves at match situations. I mean, this same Bayelsa team did that when they played Rivers United in Lagos. A penalty was awarded against them. At some point, they were threatening to walk out of the field until they were prevailed upon to allow that penalty taken. Rivers United lost it. So I think it's something that is in our culture that we have to find a way of looking.
Alfred, let me just come in. Where I'm going with this is the fourth abandoned match in the NNL today. Bayelsa United will be playing on the continent. What sort of negative mindset would this give to them as they get ready for a serious continental action?
Well, I mean, the pressure on them now, I think, for them is to come out of the NNL. Now they are their champion and playing on the continent. That puts another pressure. I think if they don't get that into... I know some of the players are already talking about... I asked one of the players in Benin, now that you qualify for the continent, are you going to be here next season? Like, we'll see how it goes. I mean, everybody wants to take their football when they are so I think it puts the pressure to get points. I don't think they will be in good stead if they know that they can't come out on the NNL this, and it's looking likely that it's going to be difficult. Talking about abandoning game, Austin. Remo Stars, we know what the Lagos Joy Comet in Lagos state team abandoned. So many. I mean, it's something that we really have to look through the rule books and see what it says. And if a team is not punished, as in coming hard on that team, as some teams or players will just be having that mindset of let's just walk out, because at the end of the day they'll say, okay, you are worth 3 points, but it's something that we really have to find a way of checking.
I know. So that's it. Let's go back to Lagos. Cecilia, where do we go from here?
Yeah, definitely. Alfred, I want to thank you so much for taking our time to join us today on the program. Next week, Friday, hope to do it again. And of course, our teams should be getting ready for the continent.
The pleasure is mine always. I'm looking forward to that already.
Okay, quickly, let's go to Delta State. What's happening there? We know the Under-20 World Athletics Championship is starting on the 17th. That's on Tuesday. And the AFM president has been talking about the fact that they've been preparing athletes for the tournament. And some of those athletes that were taken that will be participating in this tournament are those who were actually disqualified in Rio. They couldn't participate there, but they have another chance to represent Nigeria at the World Under-20 Athletics Championship taking place in Nairobi in Kenya. So he's been talking about this, that we should focus on the athletes and stop talking about what happened in Rio. Just let it in Tokyo, let it go and focus on what is coming, which is what's happening in Kenya, Nairobi next week.
Competition is coming up in Nairobi, in Kenya. That is the World Athletics Under 20 Championship. That's the Junior Championship. That's another very big one. Some of our athletes that are going to Kenya for that were among the people that qualified in the Olympics. And surprisingly, some of them were among the 10 that did not participate. So this is opportunity for them to participate. And then if we keep talking about that, if we keep dwelling on that, that will cause another distraction for them. So I need people, Nigerians, to just calm down, forget about the past, and then let us encourage them to go and do us proud in Kenya. In a long time, the last one, Nigeria did not participate in this World Athletics under 20 championship. And before I left, we made sure that athletes were in camp in Asaba. They have been there preparing. Even at that, we did 2 trials. So every preparation is on top gear. They are ready. As we speak now, we have moved them to Abuja, and from Abuja, they are going to Nairobi.
Yeah, Ikena, you heard what he said. Let's just quickly focus on the next step. Let's not go to Tokyo. I'm not going to talk about Tokyo.
No, I'm not
okay,
going to talk about
World Athletics Champion. Just react to what he had to say concerning we staying focused.
Yeah. I think right now what should matter is how we get the medals in the championship. You know, how prepared are they? So, like you said, there's no need dwelling in the past. Let's move forward. Let's focus on what is going to be available and see our chances in getting it, and not to keep reminding the athletes about what happened in Tokyo. Yeah. So he made a good point. We should focus. This is a new tournament that's coming. This is a new competition that's coming. So the athletes need to focus. They need to prepare hard, and let's see how many medals we can be able to get in Nairobi. So I wish them well. I believe in these athletes. Is a stage, it's a platform for them to exhibit their skills and their talent to the rest of the world. So we look forward to watching it.
The discussion back to London, England now, where the new season of the English Premier League is on. And I tell you, it's fire. The discussion we're already getting tells you that we're going to have a lot of things go down this season. So let me introduce the guys that will be talking to us on the show. By the way, 68 minutes already played in that one between Brentford and Arsenal, and it's still Brentford 1. Arsenal 0. I've been joined now on the show. He's right here with me in London. Alexander Kuye is a football scout with Tottenham. Alexander Kuye, good to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And in Birmingham is a football enthusiast, Adam Williams. Adam, is also good to have you on Sports Tonight.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really happy to be here.
Okay, so let me begin with Kuye. Kuye, you're a football scout. It's a new season. I know COVID has done a lot, but some of the clubs seem to have been able to roll out huge money to sign players, but not Arsenal.
Yes, unfortunately, COVID has obviously impacted a lot of clubs within the Premier League and also around the Football League in general. And I think the problem with Arsenal at the moment is that, you know, we can clearly see that Arsenal needs a bit of help. They need a bit of help, obviously, defensively, as well as also in the midfield. But I think in COVID in general, as I think it just affected everybody. And a lot of it has to do with the revenue that's obviously coming into these clubs. Clubs like Arsenal need that revenue to be able to obviously purchase players and put infrastructures in place. And I'm not being funny. If you look at the statistics, £1 billion have been lost from elite clubs due to COVID. And that obviously takes a detrimental impact on purchasing players for that instance. Obviously, Arsenal have bought in a couple of players like Nuno, Ben White, obviously, who started tonight. But the main issue is that simply the Premier League clubs don't have the money. And the ones that do seem to be ones that have been active in this window.
I'll still get you talking. You're part of the Tottenham setup. Can Spurs keep Harry Kane?
I think Harry Kane is somebody I believe that potentially will probably be staying at Tottenham this season. I believe that he, if you know the history, and I remember Harry Kane quite fondly. You know, Harry Kane was released at Arsenal, was given the opportunity at Tottenham, and has been successful at Tottenham. I think Tottenham, and I know Daniel Levy quite well, I don't think he would accept any figure that's below their valuation of Harry Kane. But one thing I would say is that wherever he goes, and if he does go Man City or whatever, the legacy that he's left behind at Tottenham will be amazing. Because the fact is that he's highly well regarded at Tottenham. But I also think that sometimes, as a footballer, you want new adventures. And I think he wants to play Champions League football. He's made it quite obvious through his agent, who obviously is his family member. So we'll just have to wait and see.
We'll wait and see. Adam, let me get you talking. It's a new season. Last season, you won't even believe it. West Ham got us talking. When you look at the teams this season, which team will get us talking?
West Ham's an interesting one as to whether we're going to carry on talking about them. I was thinking about this and seeing the fans in the Brentford Community Stadium this evening. It makes you realise what we've been missing over the past 18 months. West Ham, their old stadium, Upton Park, people used to fear going there. And now the Olympic Stadium, I've not been there, but from the fans that I've spoken to, you feel like you're miles away from the players.
Mm.
Is that going to be an issue this season in terms of West Ham not having that home advantage? Because they didn't have to worry about that last year when there were no fans. It's interesting. The other side of the story for them is Jesse Lingard.
Mm.
He really set the world alight. I know West Ham were doing well already, but he just kept on that momentum in the second half of the season. Could West Ham maybe have signed someone like Pereira from West Brom? I don't know. It will be interesting to see where their attacking flair and where that comes from and whether that can continue this year. I think Aston Villa is going to be an interesting one too. You say I'm from Birmingham. I've been talking to the fans, and of course they're disappointed that they've lost Grealish for £100 million to Manchester City, but they've got 3 great attacking options now including Danny Ings, who is a proven striker. So it will be interesting to see whether Villa can kick on from here.
Yep.
And it's going to be a congested kind of battle in that midfield in the Premier League.
Because Villa actually did get us talking. I mean, beat some of the big teams that we weren't expecting them to get points from. But let's talk about the big guys now. Manchester City, they are the defending champions of the league. Pep Guardiola is talking about his team. Are they ready for the new season? Let's listen to him.
I think
every player needs time to get his best. So yesterday was the first day when we were all together, except Phil, because he's injured, but was in the locker room with us. So it's the first day we were together. And in 2 days we start the Premier League. Well, anyway, tomorrow we start the Premier League officially, our game on Sunday. So we need time, like it was last season and the previous season, and every pre-season is like this. So we decide that some players come back later than usual because I guess they need rest, mentally, physicality after a tough season, the previous one, but the way they behave so far is exceptional as always. So, and I'm pretty sure we'll hear that later, but I'm pretty sure we're going to get the best condition thus far. Every day is getting better, but we are still waiting what's going to happen the next days because he cannot do the full training session, just partial, but some with us, some alone. So we will see what happens the next days.
Seeing what happens the next days. The good thing is they've got Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne. Well, they'll just have to monitor him to see how he'll be able to, how all these players will come together to be able to win the title for Manchester City. They haven't lost on the Community Shield to Leicester City, so that's more like a wake-up call. Adams, you were going to talk about Manchester City and what we'll be expecting from them this season before we listen to Pep Guardiola talking.
Yeah, so Manchester City, they've got to be the favourites this year. I mean, they've got Jack Grealish in, who showed that he can make a difference in the Euros with England there. They've also got world beaters in Kevin De Bruyne and Foden when he gets back from injury too. So that's going to be exciting to see. And they've definitely got their eyes on the treble in terms of the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup. You've got to look at Chelsea, though, as well. They're going to be an interesting one to watch. They won the Champions League last year, so they are a good team. And then when you add Romelu Lukaku to the occasion, returning to the X, if you like, you're not going to be doing too badly with him up front. And I wonder whether that's what they've been missing, a fearful striker, someone that the opposition are going to struggle to keep on top. It's going to be a battle at the top, but that's what we want, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what we want. I mean, Alex, for you, we know Manchester City, like all the top clubs, the top 4 who finished last season, they're not actually hiding their ambition. Everyone is ready to compete. You're looking at Liverpool, you're looking at Chelsea, you're looking at Manchester United. They're bringing in players. I mean, those parts they feel last season they couldn't really get good players playing. But right now, United, Rafael Varane is coming into the team in the defense. And if you look at what they've been able to do with Sancho also coming in, so it simply means that all the clubs, they're ambitious. They're telling everyone that, yes, the title race is going to be very, 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 very tough to call this time around.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to it. And sorry.
Okay, Alex.
Thank you. Listen, I personally think that Manchester City, obviously, in my opinion, are going to be probably the favourites to win the the Premier League. And I think the reason for that is because some of the acquisitions they've brought in obviously Jack Grealish, who for me had in my opinion, even with the small contribution he made in the Euros, made a massive contribution, and he's obviously done really well. And I think that will follow him to Man City. But I think what you also have to understand with Man City is that Man City, they have probably one of the best scouting teams in the world. And it's not generally always about, oh, yes, let's put money towards a good player because he's been successful. They look at data. And I would say that Brentford, funny enough, and Man City are very, very similar in the way they conduct their scouting departments to get the best players that's the fit for them. I remember having a conversation the other day. So, would Messi be a fit for Man City? Well, a lot of people would love to see Messi at Man City. But the reality is that potentially he's not the fit for Man City. So, in my opinion, I think probably it will be Man City this year and probably Chelsea maybe just following behind.
Interesting. Now, let's listen to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer talking about Rafael Varane, the fact that he would not be available against Leeds simply because he hasn't trained with the team. And, of course, the deal is not 100% done yet. But then Sancho will be available. Let's listen to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, then we'll get back to the studio where we still have Ikena to talk about that.
To get a good start, of course. We have expectations ourselves. This club is about trophies. It's about good football. And my expectations are that we keep developing our style and play good football. You never know with results in football, but hopefully when we get to March, April, May, we're there and thereabouts, because the team looks hungry. We've done good business, so I feel confident going into the season. Then again, first couple of games are always an unknown. As you say, it's a rivalry between Leeds and Man United. It's a one-off game when you play against Marcelo's teams anyway, because he's got a unique style, and I can't wait to get going.
So that's it. Teams are getting ready for the new season, and of course, Manchester United also will be, putting up a team that can compete for the league title. Let's get you talking, Alex, before we get to Ikena in the studio. Just about 1 minute before we go on this break. Last season, West Ham got us talking. Aston Villa got us talking. Leeds United got us talking also to an extent. Will Brentford get us talking this season? They lead Arsenal 2-0 now.
Yes, 100%. Listen, Brentford are an amazing team. And I think a lot of people that probably are not familiar with Brentford don't understand that the infrastructure that they have behind them in terms of what they're about. So firstly, most of Brentford's players most of them have come from Denmark because, as you know, Brentford is linked with Midtjylland. And one of the most important things I would say about Brentford is that Brentford in 2016 closed their football academy because they wanted to go to the Premier League, and they saw it as a cost-effective option to, instead of bringing players through in England, to go to Scandinavian Europe and pick the best players to compete. And you've seen that in a lot of players that he had in the Championship. Those players have obviously propelled Brentford to the Premier League. And if you look at the acquisitions that they've made, these are not well-named world signings that you would get from a Premier League club who has just been promoted. These are young, able athletes who basically can do the job, and that's potentially keeping them up. But I will say this, Brentford probably, in my opinion, will finish in the top half of the Premier League.
Oh, wow. We'll watch that. We've got a Nigerian in that team, Frank Oyeka, came from FC Midtjylland, and he's also doing so well. Let's go to Lagos. Ikenna, it's a new season, but it seems like it's still same old team for us now.
Yeah, it's same old, season in, season out. And one thing about Arsenal or a team like Arsenal not being able to meet expectations is that they might not be attractive to players anymore. Because if you're not in, look at what Alex said about Harry Kane wants to play in the Champions League. Most of these top players want to play in the Champions League. You remember when Messi was out of contract with Barcelona? They were doing different memes with his jerseys, and they put an Arsenal jersey on him. But we know he's not going to Arsenal because Arsenal doesn't play in the Champions League. So they have to get their ass together. Arteta has been given enough opportunities. You know, from before he came in, there was so much hype around him. Now he hasn't been able to deliver. They're not in Champions League. They are losing their first game of the season. So he's going to put the team under immense pressure. And of course, a lot of players, because I just read before we came on air that they might be putting Aubameyang up for sale. Like I said, might be going to Roma. Who knows? But when you lose your first game of the season, you are going to put the team under immense pressure and scrutiny. So I don't think losing to a championship, a team that just got promoted, is a way to start the season. It's not going to, the fans are not going to really like what they're seeing today.
I know, it's already showing. So that's the story. Brentford 2, Arsenal 0. Let's see what the Gunners can do. It's football. We will go on this quick break now. When we come back, we've talked about Manchester United. We've talked about Man City. We mentioned Chelsea. We'll talk about Liverpool. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
I'm sorry for talking over you.
Back is Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're previewing the new 2021-2022 English Premier League season. And we're just taking a look at some of the teams that will get us talking. Let me get Adam talking this time around. Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp is still a bit gutted about how the season ended for them last season. You think they can make a difference this new season?
I think so. They were kind of, they looked run down and tired after having such a great season the previous time round. I wonder whether, once again, they were one of the teams affected by the pandemic in terms of the fans not being there. We all know how tough it is to go away to Anfield. And that's what they had in their favour in the previous league, that it was a tough place to go. But once the other teams know that they can beat Liverpool, it was almost a steamroller effect after that. I think there's positivity there, and Jurgen Klopp is a good manager. We all know that. So they've just got to have faith in him, and we'll see what they can do. They're definitely not out of this league fight yet.
So that's it. We'll get to see what Liverpool can do. Alex, aside Brentford that you talked about, which other team do you think will get us talking this season?
Oh, I think that's a good question. I think for me, I would say Manchester United. And I think that it's very important that I think we need to mention is some of the acquisitions they've brought in, like Jordan Sancho. And I think for me, that's just a statement of intent. I think that is what is missing in the Manchester United team. I think for me, as someone who's a scout, we rely so much on Rashford. If things are not going out, Man United's way, bring on Rashford. But actually, now you could say, you've got Bruno Fernandes, you now have Jordan Sancho, obviously Cavani. You've got all of these players that can basically be game changers. So with Oli, he needs to understand now, from a point of view, that he has the players and people are going to have high expectations for Man United. And I do say this, I do feel that also Man United will play a part, I think, in chasing the Premier League. But like I said, it's just going to be Man City, in my opinion.
Interesting. Manchester City again. Alex Kuye and Adam Williamson, thank you so much for joining us this evening to have a comprehensive preview of the English Premier League. Especially, you guys have actually mentioned that Manchester City seems to be the team to beat again this season. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, let's listen to Jurgen Klopp talking about the fact that he doesn't need to spend money on another defender because Virgil van Dijk had to sign another deal that he will stay at Anfield until 2025.
The good thing about this signing is that we know him already, that we used him before already quite successfully, and we are really happy that he's happy here. And even more so after that obviously very difficult last year, that he is back on track, trains with the team, and prepares his hopefully very successful future at this club. So yeah, absolutely great news. Imagine we would have to buy this boy now. So thank God we only had to give him a new contract. The gap was pretty big the year before. With us, the gap was pretty big. I'm not sure if it can get even more intense for all the rest. So we will see. Yeah, Chelsea obviously is not hiding their ambitions, and Man United isn't. City isn't. We don't want to hide our expectations or ambitions because we want to fight for everything. But whatever will happen in the season, we don't know now. But in this moment, yeah, it will be a massive fight. And I mentioned only these four, but it will not be only these four. Looks like Leicester made really good business again. Arsenal is trying. Tottenham is obviously trying really hard. And there are so many teams. West Ham played the best season for a long time last year. They didn't get worse over the summer. So it will be an interesting league again. Very interesting. So let's see how it starts. And then we can talk about that. And then let's make the next step.
Take the next step. Every club, they're really willing. I mean, none of them actually staying behind, especially the top four except Arsenal. Check the signings they've all done. For you, I mean, our two guests in London talked about the fact that, hey, Manchester City is the team to beat. For you, which team to beat this season?
Manchester City.
Okay. It's only about Manchester City, right? So let's quickly get into France, where Pochettino has been talking about the fact that, well, he's happy, being able to coach Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, Neymar. I mean, name it. These are top stars, right? But he's actually happy that he's here, so he's really honored to be able to coach them. Let's quickly listen to him before we wrap up the show.
I think that, of course, to be here, I think it's an honor. And for me to be in front of this project of Paris Saint-Germain, I was player nearly 19, 20 years ago. And I think for me it's a real honor. We are so excited to have amazing player, amazing squad. And now is the challenge that start to work how we want, in the way that we want. That is going to be massive, but we have the energy and I think the quality in all the people that is work and involved around the team that to try for that happen.
Interesting, Austin. I mean, big players. How do you put them together? Well, I'm not envying him at all.
I talked about the egos that he needs to, manage. He needs to play a huge fatherly role. I don't know how he's going to do it, but it's just, as he said, it's heartwarming knowing that you've got all those are real superstars, but managing is actually the real work, Cecilia.
That's the real one. I mean, but we have to leave the studio right now because the director has been talking in my ear. Ikena, thank you so much for coming on the program.
A big pleasure of being here.
All right. Thank you for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogwe. Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you from London. I'm Austin Okonakwan. Let's do this again next time. But until then, in everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.